Hi, I'm Mark Wahlberg. You may know me as the host of several TV shows, most notably Antiques Roadshow on PBS. But today, I want to talk to you about a group that I'm passionate about, the Young Americans. The Young Americans are a nonprofit 501c founded more than 50 years ago by Milton C. Anderson. Though they're called the Young Americans, they're not only from all over the United States, but from countries all across the globe. With music, dance, and theater programs disappearing from schools at an alarming rate, the Young Americans fill that void. One of the things the Young Americans teach is always make it work. Take a look at what they did in a bull ring in Spain. One day, it looked like this. The next day, it looked like this. On my television show, we travel throughout the United States looking at people's collectibles and assessing their value. And certain things dictate value: rarity, condition, and emotional appeal. Well, the Young Americans, they hit it out of the park on all accounts, especially the emotional connection. So if I were to assess the value of the Young Americans, I would have to say, priceless. When it comes to arts education funding in schools, the first schools to suffer are usually in the inner cities. And that's not just here in the United States, it's a global problem. So wherever there's a need, the Young Americans go.
This is a school with a very mixed set of students. So we have lots of students that come from other countries, foreign backgrounds. It is an inner city school, it is a state school.
Before the economic downturn, PricewaterhouseCoopers sponsored workshops in the inner city schools in Europe. The students taking the workshops from the Young Americans not only were exposed to the arts, but they also learned self-discipline and teamwork.
It's the 20th time that we support with our PwC Foundation this excellent project. There's not enough money for society to support children in music, art, dancing. So we decided to set up a foundation to support and to encourage young people to get to know these cultural important things.
All our students are taking the workshops. They're all excited to be in it. So I believe that we will have 400 people on stage, yes.
These workshops are only 3 days long, ending on the third day with a show where the students perform alongside the Young Americans for their teachers, family, and friends.
We want to do things which go beyond our professional services. That means accounting, tax, and advisory business. And also to widen our spirit, our view for things which we do not see when we work only in business.
So these kids, they just learned it in 10 minutes. That's awesome.
I heard it's a young, entertaining group that has a real strong buzz and that they're performing all over the world, that they're doing a great work with these outreach tours.
5, 6, 7, 8.
The Young Americans have no religious or political affiliation or agenda. Their only agenda is to transform lives through music, dance, and theater for kids all around the world.
I couldn't imagine how great it is. Now I saw it and it was fantastic.
There is no corporate funding in Europe or the United States to help these students realize their dreams.
I think it's really, from both organizations, people is a key matter, and I think this was all about people and good minds and teamwork and having a good time together.
That's what we have here. We've got lovely children all wishing to do something. Some have more of a natural talent than others, but everything is possible to those who persevere, those who put in an effort.
The transformative power of these workshops has been recognized throughout the world. In Japan, for instance, corporate sponsors are literally lined up around the block to support the Young Americans in their schools.
アメリカの若者が
The young Americans were actually teaching a workshop when the earthquake and tsunami hit northern Japan. Since that time, once a year, a tour of young Americans goes back to Japan, sponsored by corporations and the Japanese government, to work with kids affected by that tsunami in the north. The young Americans not only teach their workshops in traditional schools, but wherever they're needed, like prisons, daycare centers for the homeless, even schools for the deaf.
Today we're collaborating with Young Americans to have a performance that includes sign language and deaf and hard of hearing children. As a handicapped group, they identify strongly with each other and they enjoy being able to communicate in a way that they can't in their public schools.
No matter where the young Americans travel, and no matter what challenges they face, no student is ever forced to do anything. They're invited. And because it's kids teaching kids, the young Americans don't make it happen, they let it happen. The Young Americans' work is not just about singing, dancing, and acting. It's about the effect and the transformation of music education. Science has proven that music education, fine arts, makes for a peaceful civilization. Now we need your help to continue this work. Please support the Young Americans so that they can infuse hope and transformation for students all around the world. You'll help change a life. You'll change a school. You'll change a community. And in the end, you'll change the world.